Hey everybody, and welcome to our Greene Acres. Today's video, I'm going to show y'all some DIY projects and some things that I got at the thrift store and how I upcycle them. Also, if you want to stay to the end of the video, I'm going to put some footage in and we'll bring y'all along to Goodwill and take y'all on a thrifting shopping trip with me. So if you want to see that, stay to the end. I love this little project right here. This is a little birdhouse I got at Dollar General for $3. It come in a couple of different color themes for the front, but I picked out the pink one. So if you see this little birdhouse at your Dollar General, pick it up and I'll give you an idea for it. We're just going to paint the whole thing white. I was going to leave the little roof and the base its natural color, but it was so hard to get it taped off and avoid getting any white paint on it. And I did need to paint the background white for this decoupage paper. This is some beautiful decoupage paper, and I will have my link to where I get all of mine down below in the description box. But I think this right here is so pretty. It's got a really vintage look to it, but it's also got those pretty blues on it, and it's got some butterflies and things that I think will look really pretty for spring and summertime. So I just painted the whole birdhouse with a couple of layers of white chalk paint, and then I cut down my decoupage paper just to get it as small as I could to go on the front of the house. I just cut away as much of the excess paper as I could so I'd have less to deal with and it'd be a lot easier. Then I just cut a little slit and pushed my peg through, and now I've got my peg in place. So now just using my fingers, I'm just going to go around and score along the little roof line and then cut those out. Once I get my paper cut out, I'm going to apply it to the front of the birdhouse, and I'm going to use DIY liquid patina, but you could also use Mod Podge. I'm going to start at the tip of the roof just to get that little area secure so my paper don't slip, and I'm just going to go around now, work in sections, and apply the paper. Now once I get the paper applied and it gets dry, then I'll go around with my little finger sander and I will remove the excess paper. I'm just going to go over it really well, and very gently I'm laying it on the little birdhouse very gently with my fingers because you don't want to tear your paper. Now once everything is dry, now I want to cut away this little hole, and that is very easy to do. I just kind of poke my scissors down in it. Now I'm just taking my little finger sander, and this is linked in my Amazon store. It's a great little tool, and it really fit down in that hole really well, just so I could, saw around that I could sand around that little hole and remove the paper. And I'm going to do the same thing on the sides. Just use your little sanding block or this little finger sander and go along the edges and remove your excess paper. And that is all you have to do. Now we've got a cute little birdhouse that we only paid $3 for. Now I'm going to show you a tray that I got at Goodwill, and I paid $1.99 for it. It's got some dents and some dings in it, but I'm going to hammer those out and I'm going to make this work. Now I'm going to take my hammer and very gently I'm just going around in those little dings and dents that it has, and I'm just trying to hammer those out as best I can. Once I got that done, now I'm going to take this beautiful decoupage paper, and this is kind of what I want to bring along to y'all that I have learned. When I shop for my decoupage paper, I am now going to try to find a coordinating piece that may be larger. Some decoupage papers don't come in larger sizes, they only come in one size, and sometimes that won't fit on your project piece. So I'm going to show you how we can apply both of those coordinating pieces and make this tray really pretty. I just painted the inside of the tray white. I left the rim its natural state because I love the color of it, and it also had some rust patina on it. So now I'm just going to go around with this larger piece. This is going to be my background, and it will fit on the whole area of the tray. I just went around and scored it with my fingernails just to get the shape and the pattern of it. Then I'm going to go around and cut it out. Now, as you can see, this will fit in the tray really well and it'll cover up the whole tray. Now I'm going to take this piece that's smaller and I'm going to just cut off the excess paper as much as I can just to have, what I need to work with. Once I get those edges trimmed off, now I'm going to place it in the tray and kind of line it up of how I want to shape it. I need it to be more in an oval shape instead of a square. So to do that, I'm just going to take the piece of decoupage paper that I just cut the background out of and just use that as my pattern just so I'll know, just kind of get an idea of how big I need my graphic to be. Now taking a paintbrush and some water, I'm just going around and dabbing on some water and I'm going to tear the paper. And as I go, I'm going to try to tear it in an oval shape. Now it won't be perfect, but I do want this paper to not look square and I want it to look like it's more torn and it's more worn. So once I get it the way I want it, I can place it back on the tray just to see if I've got the right size, and I feel like I do. Now this texture of paper is kind of fibrous, so when you tear it, it'll kind of have like some little hairs. So to avoid it looking like it's got little fibers hanging, I'm just going to take my scissors and go around and just lightly trim that off because I want it to look like it's more like it's torn instead of frayed. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to apply the background down and get that secured. I'm using, again, DIY liquid patina, and I just work in sections. Once I get that down, I'm going to take my brayer, roll over it, and this way it'll remove any wrinkles or bubbles, and it'll also push any of that excess decoupage medium out to the edges. And once I do that, I'm going to take a baby wipe and just clean all the excess decoupage medium off. Now I'm going to take my graphic, I'm going to get it on there, and then I'm just going to work in sections and apply it. I go over the bottom of it really good and get it adhered to the background really well, and then I'm going to go over the top and seal it across the top also. I think this tray turned out so pretty, and there's so many things now that you can do with a tray like this. Here's a frame and a piece of glass that I picked up at Goodwill, and I paid $2.99 for it. As you can see, somebody had cut out some vinyl lettering to spell out Merry Christmas and it applied it to the glass. It's going to be real easy to remove it. I did take the glass out and remove the ribbon, and now I'm going to give it a fresh coat of white chalk paint. I love to use the Rust-Oleum, and I usually like to use a flat matte finish. Here I'm just removing the vinyl lettering, and I'm just showing you how easy it is. I just removed this using my fingers and my fingernails. Now we've got this piece of glass or plexiglass. I think it's more like a thick plexiglass, but the vinyl lettering left some sticky residue. I did clean it really well, but that's okay because we're going to add some beautiful transfers to it. These right here come in the IOD spring release of 2024, and I will make sure to link the transfer book that I'm using down below, and you can also purchase this from my friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby, and I will have a link to her shop down below. But I just used a little piece of glass. I laid it on top of the flower just to get the area of the flower that I needed, and then using the grid lines, I cut out the flower. I'm going to apply this large flower over here on the left side, and then the right side I'm going to put a smaller one. These transfers transfer really well onto glass. Just make sure you've got a clean surface before you get started, and just make sure your area is really dry. But transfers transfer on glass really easy, so you don't have to apply a lot of pressure. So once I get this one applied, I'm going to go in and put the smaller flower over on the other side. Then I'm going to add some words up in the area that I have left. And again, just using the grid lines, I just use those to cut my flower out, and it don't take any time to get these applied to this glass. And look how pretty this is so far. I absolutely love these florals. Now up in this little area, I'm going to put a little bit of wording. And y'all know I have a little box. And this is where I keep my scrap transfers. This is just pieces of transfers that I don't use. But I just cut them down to size and get them to fit in this little box. And it makes a good storage area for them so they don't get damaged. And I just go through them when I need some little extra detail to a project. I just go through them, and I always usually find one that fits perfect. But I thought this one was really pretty, and I thought it would add a little detail of black, and also love the butterfly on this one. So I'm just going to add it up here in this area, and then this glass will be done. So if you have a frame, you don't even have to find a frame like I did. Just any kind of frame that has piece glass in it, you can take that, paint your frame any color you want to, or just leave it natural wood. Take the glass out and just add some beautiful transfers to it, and this makes a gorgeous piece. Now the little holes up at the top, I'm not going to add back the black ribbon. I'm going to add this piece. I think I got this at Walmart, but it's just a really nice piece of like a soft, good quality type tulle fabric. I absolutely love it. But it makes a really pretty hanger. So I just put that back through the holes. I'll tie it in a bow, and now our piece is done. Now I found this cute little chicken. Now I'm not sure where I got this. I think I got this at Salvation Army and only paid $2 for it. I just spray painted it white, and now I'm going to show you how easy it is to really transform a piece like this. I just spray painted it white, and then I'm just going to give it a beautiful transfer on the front. We're going to make it look a little bit more like French country, because I love French country style, and this right here just reminds me of that. Now this chicken will not distress well. I tried after I painted it and I put the transfer on it. I did try to distress a few areas on it, and it didn't distress well, so I ended up repainting over those areas. The base does distress a little bit, so I will distress it. I am going to add a little bit of detail to the base, and again, I'm just taking some scrap transfers that I have, and I'm just cutting up ones that I feel like will go good on the base. I do need something that's kind of long, but that will fit on the base, and these two right here fit really well. So I'm going to put that one on the top, and then I'm going to take this one, and it's got the word beautiful or delightful in the center. I'm just going to cut a slit in it and then cut that delightful word out, and then we've got this beautiful design. So don't be afraid if your transfer maybe has a word on it, you don't like the wording or what it says. You know, sometimes you can cut that off and still use the design. So I'm going to apply this to the front, and now this piece is done. I did add like a little burlap bow to the top, but I'm going to take it off. But just showing you different ideas of things that you can do with a piece like this and just kind of embellish it the way you want it. I took my little finger sander and lightly distressed the base, and then I took my fingernail and kind of brought out his eye. I felt like it needed to come, shine through. Now I'm just going to display this with some vintage a recipe card that I have and a vintage grater, and you can set this piece out now on a coffee bar or just in a French country vignette, and I think this piece goes really well. Okay, y'all, as promised, and if you are still here, let's go shopping at Goodwill. I try to go in my local Goodwill at least once a week because they always have new stuff out. This store is really good about replenishing the shelves because stuff doesn't last long. So let's get a cart and let's go shopping and see what kind of treasures we can find. The first thing I found is this pastry roller for 99 cents. This will make a great brayer for your DIY projects. This little set of 4 silver or silver plated little cups. These were a little pricey. They were $2.99 each. I love this sign. I especially love what it says. Live by grace, not perfection. This right here is one of my weaknesses, and that is candle holders. This one right here, I absolutely love the color of it, and it was only $4.99, and it was at Hobby Lobby at one time for $24.99. I've had my eye on this Rooster right here. I want it so bad, but it is $29.99. Hopefully one day it'll go on half price, but that's still going to be $15. This right here, I love these two little buckets. I think the small one is 99 cents, and I think the larger one is $2.99. I love the black, and I love the white. Now here on the end cap, I love this wooden fish. Y'all, this is only 99 cents. This is not the style decor I have in my home, but I wish it was because I loved it. I love this jug right here. This would be really pretty if you painted it and probably distressed it back. It did have one little damaged area right down here on the bottom, but I think that would be an easy fix. This white basket right here caught my eye. I love the burlap bow on it. I love the color of it. And this would make a great basket because it's such a good size to put some florals or some greenery in. This right here caught my eye. I love pears, and I love the little embellishments on the base of it. These florals right here were really pretty. They were in some faux water, so I thought those were really neat. This planter right here, I love it, but I think it was a little pricey. I can't remember what the price was, but I think it was a little too expensive. This right here was neat, a 1950s film projector. It was, as you can see, I think almost $75, but that is a great find. If you love vintage things, I'm sure that would be great to go in your collection. I hope y'all enjoyed seeing all the DIYs I did in today's video and going shopping with me. I will try to put more footage at the end of some more of my videos because like I told y'all, I go to the thrift store at least once a week. But I hope y'all enjoyed going shopping with me. As always, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all come back next week for my next video. Until then, I hope all of y'all have a blessed week. I love y'all, appreciate y'all, and I'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.